All right, Part 374, Passenger Carrier Regulations. 374.1, Applicability. Subpart A, Discrimination Operation Interstate Motor Carriers Passenger. 374.101, Distribution Prohibited. 374.103, Notice of the printed tickets. 105, the Discrimination Terminal Facility. 107, the Notice of the Posted Terminal Facility. 109, Carriers not relieved the existing obligation. 374.111, that reports interference with the regulation. 374.113, Definitions. Subpart B, limitation of smoking on interstate passenger carrier vehicles. 374-201, prohibition against smoking on interstate passenger carrying motor vehicles. 7 Part C, adequate intercity motor carrier passenger services. 301, applicability. 303, definition. 305, ticketing information. 307, baggage service. 309, terminal facility. 311, the service responsibility. 313, equipment. 315, transportation passenger with disabilities. 374, 317, identification bus driver. 374, 319, relief of provision. Alright, subpart D, notice of the procedure package, excess value declaration. 401, minimum permissible limitation of baggage liability. 403, notice of passenger liability, declare excessive value of the baggage. And, 374 package excess value declaration procedure. Subpart E, incidental and charter rights. 501 applicability. 503 authority. 505 exemptions. All right. 374.1 applicability. All right. Continuing recording. 374.1 applicability. The part applied for the motor carrier subject to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 Part B. Subpart A, discrimination operation for the interstate motor carriers passenger. 374-101, discrimination prohibited. The non-motor carrier of the passenger subject to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code, Subtitle 4, Part B, shall operate the motor vehicle in interstate foreign commerce from which with the seating of the passengers based on the race, color, creed, is seating of the passengers based upon race, color, creed, or national origin. No motor carrier or passenger subject to the Title 49 shall operate a motor vehicle based on race, color, creed, or national origin. 374-103, notice the printing of the ticket of every motor carrier of the passenger subject to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 Part B shall be called the printed every ticket of the sold of the transportation any of the vehicle operated with the interstate with the foreign commerce with the plainly legible notice following seating aboard vehicle that operated with the interstate foreign commerce without regard to race, color, or creed, or national origin. And it has a note. 375-145, the discrimination terminal facility. No carrier of the passenger subject with the Title 49 United States Code Subtitle 4 Part B shall operation of the vehicle with the interstate foreign commerce provided, maintain arrangement, utilize, make it available here, understanding of the vehicle, range or maintain and involve the separation of any portion of thereof or any other use of the basis, race, color, creed, or national origin. 374-107, the notice of the proposed terminal facilities. No motor passenger subject to the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 Part B shall operate with the vehicle with the interstate foreign commerce utilize any of the terminal facilities in which there is non-conspicuous display for the maintain with the readily readable, visible text of the regulations such as the signed placard shall be contained with the public notice regulation applicable to vehicle terminal facility interstate motor carriers of passengers by order of Secretary of U.S. Department of Transportation. 374-109, carriers not relieve the existing obligation. Nothing in regulation shall contribute to the relief of the interstate with the motor carrier passenger subject to Title 49 Subtitle 4 with a Part B any of the obligations Title 49 Subtitle 4 Part B of the certificate public conveyance and necessity. 374-111 reports that interfering with the regulation. Every motor carrier of the passenger subject to Title 49 Subtitle 4 Part B with the operate the vehicle to interstate with the foreign commerce shall report the Secretary within 15 days of the occurring with the interference of any of the person, municipality, county, parish, state body, political of the observance requirements of the regulation of this part of the report shall include the statement that the action of the such carrier may take in eliminating any such interference. 374-13 374.11.3 definition purpose of the regulation found in the terminal phrase for the define terminal facilities. And these regulations the term terminal facilities mean the facility including waiting room, dress room, eating, drinking, ticket sales, pay facilities which are motor carrier to make it available to the passenger motor vehicle operated in interstate foreign commerce as a regular part of the transportation separation as used in 374.105. The term separation includes among any other thing to display any sign indicating any portion of terminal facilities are separated allow the restrictor provided available to use and otherwise distinguished on base, race, color, creed, and national origin. So Part B, limitations smoking with the interstate passenger carrier vehicles. 374 201, Prohibition against smoking with the interstate passenger carrying motor vehicles. All motor carriers, passengers subject to Title 49, Subtitle 4 of the Part B, with prohibited smoking, including the carrying all lit cigars, cigarettes, or pipes in vehicles, transportation, passengers scheduled with a special service in interstate commerce. Each carrier will take any action necessary to ensure the smoking of the passenger driver with the other employees are not permitted. The violation of this section shall include the making the appropriate announcement to the passengers and posting with the international no smoking sign with a posting of the sign in all vehicles of transportation passenger in a letter sharp color contrast of the background in such size and shape and color readily legible, such for the sign and symbols with shall kept and maintained as a manner that remain legible that shall indicate that the smoking of the prohibited federal regulation and provision in paragraph A of this section shall not apply with the charter operations defined in 374.503 of this part. Subpart C, adequacy, intercity motor carrier passenger service. 374.301, applicability. The rules governing only motor passenger carriers conducting regular route operations. 374.303, definitions. Carrier means a motor passenger carrier vehicle. A bus means a passenger carrying vehicle regardless of the design, seating capacity of the use of the carrier's authorized operation. Facility means any structure that provide with any carrier at near which buses pick up the discharge passenger. Terminal means the facility operated with you the carrier chief to furnish passenger transportation services. Accommodation station means the facility other terminal operated by or the carrier accommodated passengers. 5F services mean the passenger transportation bus over the regular routes. Commercial commuter services passenger transportation wholly between the points no more than 100 airline miles apart, but not including through the bus and connecting the interline services to or from the point beyond 100 airline miles. The usual characteristics of the commuter services include the reduced fare and multiple ride. All communication tickets peaking in the morning, evening. Operation package means the property of the passenger takes within him or the personal use of conveyance. Restroom means a part room in the bus or terminal equipped with a toilet, washable, soap, and a reasonable alternative mirror, wastebasket, and toilet paper. All right, 374.305, ticketing information. Information services during the business hour. Each of the terminal stations. Information shall be provided with the scheduled tickets and fares of the baggage of other carrier services. Carrier agents, personnel who they offer the sale of the tickets will provide the information concerning the tickets of carrier services shall be competent, adequate, informed telephone information services. Every facility whichever the tickets are sold shall provide the telephonic information to traveling public, including the current schedule of the fare information which opens ticket sales. Schedule printed regular route with the schedule that should provide with the traveling public of the office of the ticket to such services is sold. Each schedule shall show the points along with the travel carriers travel facilities are located wherever the bus trips originate and terminate. Each schedule shall indicate the arrival, the departure time of each such point. Ticket refunds. Each carrier shall be refused and used and ticketed upon request. Considering the governed carrier each of the places tickets are sold within 30 days of the request. Announcement: no scheduled bus except for the commuter services shall depart terminal stations until the public announcement with the departure boarding part of the point of the given with the announcement shall be given them at least 5 minutes before initial departure. Before departures have the points of the bus is scheduled to stop at more than 5 miles. All right, 374.307, the baggage services. Checking procedures. Carriers issue the service does not provide with the side of the bus baggage check for the baggage checking counter at least 30 minutes, but not more than an hour before departure for the shall be transferred. The side of the bus passenger checking baggage of the baggage checking counter less than 30 minutes of the scheduled departure shall be notified if the baggage may not travel the same schedule. The baggage must be not placed on the next available must then be placed on the next available bus destination. All baggage checked at the side of the bus during the boarding and alternative locations provided with the such of the purpose that shall be transported in the same schedule of ticket passengers. Baggage security. All checked baggage shall be placed in secure with the detained with the unprohibited to the public baggage being ready, loading, and should be not left unattended. Baggage liability. No carrier totally exempt from the liability of the article to offer with the check of the baggage unless the articles have been exempted with the Secretary. Other liability subject to subpart D of this part with the notice of limiting listing. Accepted articles shall be prominently posted with every location where the baggage is accepted the checking. The carriers may refuse to accept the checkage baggage of unknowingly and accept the may disclaim liability of loss of damage of following articles with the transportation check baggage prohibited by law of regulation. 2 fragile perishable articles with a article with a dimension exceed the size of limitation carriers tariff receptacles with the articles attached with the protruding guns materials that have the disagreeable order money. Those other articles with the Secretary exempt the position and the carriers need not to offer the excessive of the value of the coverage and the extra article with the extraordinary value including but not limited to. Negotiable instruments, papers, manuscripts, irreplaceable publication documents, jewelry, and watches. Express shipments, passengers, their baggage always take precedence over the equipment. Express shipments, baggage, and destination. All check with the baggage will be made available to the passenger with a reasonable time, not exceeding 30 minutes after the arrival of the passenger destination. If not, the carrier shall deliver the baggage to the passenger local address at the carrier's expense. Alright, lost, delayed, and baggage. Check baggage for the content located within 1 hour after the arrival of the bus with its above the transfer shall be designated as the loss of the carrier shall notify the passenger at the time, furnish him with the appropriate tracing form. Every carrier shall make available the ticket window of the baggage counter, a single thumb, and the suitable tracing filing claim for the loss of misplaced baggage. Form shall be prepared to duplicate with the sign of the passenger carrier with the representative of the carrier agent with the receipt of the signed original and the all necessary documentation and additional information of the claim and the check from the receipt shall be given, and the passenger shall retain the duplicate copy. The carrier shall make it immediately diligent after the receipt of the lost baggage. The passenger may fail with the tracing form of the unchecked baggage. If a carrier shall forward recovered unchecked baggage to the terminal of the station near the address shown on the tracing for the shall notify the passenger baggage shall be held the will call basis. Settlement of the claim, nothing with the Title 49, CFR 379, with the lost check of the baggage cannot be located within the 15th day of the carriage. Immediately process the payment of the claim of the day with which the carrier's agent received the tracing form shall be considered the first day, 60-day period in which the claim must be resolved by a firm offer of settlement or written explanation of the denying the claim. 374-309, terminal facilities. Passenger security. The all terminal stations must provide adequate security for the passenger for the attending within the regularly patrolled. The outside facility, the terminal station closes when the buses are secured and arrive at the departure, there should be available to extend with a possible public telephone, outside lighting, post schedule information, oversight, shelter information, local accommodation, telephone number, local taxi service policies, maintenance, and terminal shall be clean. Alright, 374-311, the service of responsibility. Scheduled carrier shall establish the schedule to be reasonable and met, but include the connection with the junction with the points with the said adequately all points. Continuing in service with no carrier, they serve the train with extremely regular route. The schedule for the first displaying with the conspicuous notice of each of the facility, each of the bus and affected, so as the notice shall be displayed at a reasonable time before it becomes effective. Then shall be contained with the carrier's name and the description, proposed schedule change and effective date thereof, the reason for the change with availability, alternate servers, the name and address of the carrier's representative the passenger may contact. Trip of interruption, the carrier shall mitigate with the extent of the possible any passenger inconvenience and caused by the disruption in travel plans. Setting in reservation, the carrier shall provide sufficient buses to meet with the passenger normal transit demand, including ordinary, weekend, unusual, and holiday demand. Passenger equipped commuters shall be guaranteed to extent possible passenger seating. Alright, inspection of the rest stops. Each carrier shall inspect periodically at all rest stops to ensure that they are clean. 374, 313 equipment. Temperature control. A carrier shall maintain a reasonable temperature on each bus, each exempt from the commuter service. Exempt in commuter service restroom. Each of the business except for the commuter service seating of more than 14 passengers, not including the driver, shall have a clean, regular, maintained restroom free of the offensive odor. A bus may be operated with a restroom which may be reasonable rest stops. Bus servicing. Each bus shall have the kept clean with all required items good working order. 374, 315, transportation passenger with a disability. Service provided with a carrier with a passenger with a disability with governed by the provision 42 U.S. Standard Code 12-101 and 10 with the regulation promulgated with the Undersecretary of Transportation Title 49 CFR Part 2 and 738, 738, Attorney General Title 28 CFR Part 36, incorporating the guidelines established with the Architectural Transportation Barrier Compliance Board 36 CFR Part 1191. 374, 317, identification of bus and driver. Each bus and driver provides services shall identify the manner visible to the passenger. Driver may be identified with the name and the company number. 374, 319, relief of the provisions. Petitions were compliant with the rule imposed the undue burden on a carrier with a petition. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration either treat it with or will conducting commuter services to the waive the rule. The request of the relief that must be justified in an appropriate verified statement. Notice of the public. The carrier shall display conspicuously of at least 30 days to each facility on each of the bus effective notice of the filing of any petition. The notice shall contain the carrier's name and address for the concise description and reason for the relief sought. With the statement of any of the interested person may file with the current comments of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration with one copy mailed to the carrier and one on before the specific date, at least 30 days later than the day of the notice of the posted. All right, subpart D. Notice of the process of the procedure of the baggage excess value declaration. 374-401 minimum permissible limitation baggage liability. Most carriers and passenger baggage of the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 13501 may not publish tariff provisions limiting the liability, loss, and damage to baggage checked by the passenger transported on a regular route with special operations or less. The amount of which the liability is limited to $250 or greater per adult fare. The provision permit the passenger for the additional charge to declare the value and accept the limited amount, allow the passenger to recover the increased amount but not higher than the actual value. In the event of loss, damage to the carrier may be published the maximum value for which will be liable. The maximum value was not less than $1,000. Appropriate identification must be attached securely with the passenger. Each item package bag checked, indicating clear and legible manner the name and address in which the baggage should be forwarded. If lost, and the subsequent recovered identification shall be made immediately available to carriers, passengers, upon request. Carriers may need not to be excessive value coverage of articles listed in 374-307C3. Alright, in 374-403, notice about passenger's ability to declare excess value on baggage. All motor carriers, the passenger baggage subject to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code, Subtitle 4, Part B, will provide that their tariff declaration on baggage excess free baggage allowance limitation shall provide clear, adequate notice to the public of the opportunity to declare such excess value of that baggage. Notice referred to in the paragraphs A of the section shall be in the larger clear print in the state as follows. The statement of the charge except the value of the declaration shall be clear with the other pertinent provisions may be added at the bottom in the clear of the readable print. Notice referred to the paragraph A and B of the section shall note the one place in the position near the ticket seller with a sufficient conspicuous apprise of the public and its provisions. 2. The place in the form of the attached for each of the ticket issue for the ticket selling with the shall whereby possible to provide oral notice to each of the ticket purchasers to read the form attached for the ticket. 3. The place of the position near any location where the baggage may be checked, sufficient conspicuous to deprive each of the passenger checking baggage of the provision. 4. Place in the position each of the boarding point or waiting area. Using carrier facility maintained with the carrier agent sufficiently conspicuous to raise each of the boarding provision of the said notice. 374-405 baggage excess value declaration procedures. All motor carrier passengers baggage subject to the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 Part B, which provide the tariff for the declaration of baggage except for the free baggage allowance limitation shall provide declaration excessive values of the baggage in the time of the place for the provision made of the baggage checking, including a baggage checking counter until the 15 minutes of the 4 scheduled boarding time, and the side of the bus of the baggage checking counter with a reasonably proximity to the boarding area during boarding at a terminal or any authorized service joints. Alright, subpart E, incidental charter rights. 374-501 applicability regulations apply with the incidental charter rights authorized in Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 13506. These regulations don't apply to the interpretation authority concerning and certificate with the transportation passenger and specific in charter operations. Alright, 374-503 authority. Motor carriers, transportation passengers, interstate with the foreign commerce of the regular routes authorized certified issue for the result of the application filed with January 2nd, 1967 and may transport specialized characterized chartered parties with interstate and foreign commerce between any points of the peace of the United States, include the Alaska of the highway with a special with a chartered party means the group of the passenger which the common purpose is owned with a single contract at and fixed charge of the vehicle in accordance with the carriers have the occurred excess with the use of the passenger carrier motor vehicle to have traveled together group over the specified destination particular itinerary. Alright, 374-505 exemption. Incidental charter rights do not authorize transportation passenger to whom the carrier has sold the individual tickets within whom the carrier had made separate individual transportation agreements. Services provided under incidental charter rights not operative between the same points the other same route so frequently constitute regular route service. Passenger transportation with the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit District with defined in the Washington Metropolitan Area Transportation Regulation Compact Public Law numbers 86794, Statute 74, Statute 1031, 1960, as in Public Law number 87767, 76 Statute 1962 is not authorized to use regulations but subject to jurisdiction regulation Washington Metropolitan Area Transportation Commission. A private public recipient governmental assistance within the meaning of the Title 49 13902B2 may provide services and incidental charter rights of the special charter parties originating in the area where the private public recipient provides regular scheduled mass transportation services under the specific qualifying certificate confers with the incidental charter rights. And that was part 374. 374 passenger carrier regulations.